Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, HollywoodShono here, about to give you another Clash Royale video. In this video, I'd like to talk about my deck that has been dominating Arena 5 and sneaking in some wins in Arena 6 as we end up getting the piece of shit mortar. So, why does this deck actually work pretty well? Well, there's a combination of ways to counter bigger troops and ways to counter smaller troops. For example, the Bomber is one of the best ground splash dealing troops in the game because you can take out a horde of goblins. It will focus on the ground troops. Obviously, it doesn't work against minions, but if somebody sends barbarians into your tower, you can basically trade with it for free because you just place the bomber right by the back of the tower, and the bomber is going to try to hit the wall breakers and just get destroyed. So a really good card there. And the archers are pretty good. Say if the opponent drops Hog Riders or something else small, it's a good way to deal with certain troops. You can even use it to deal with spear goblins. It's okay against witches, and it also works pretty well against Mini Pekka. It's a pretty versatile troop. I've actually preferred this over to spear goblins just because it can actually survive a couple hits. While it's still fodder to arrows, it is a little bit more useful. And it obviously has a little bit of decent range, as the baby dragon only has 3.5 range. Archers have 5.5, so when you're trying to sit back and ping a baby dragon that's on your Pekka, you want it to use archers because it won't like switch over to the baby dragon. So of course the arrows are the huge value because the opponent plays 5 elixir minion horde, 4 elixir skeleton horde, or even 3 elixir minions. You're still going to get some value. It's good for dealing with spawners and the like. So barbarians are in this deck. It is really solid. The reason you have barbarians in the deck is it's a very good distraction against big Pekkas, mini Pekkas. It kills them, and you pretty much lose 1 barb. It's really good against princes. Against the Dark Prince, maybe not so much, but if you're facing the Dark Prince in Arena 5, you're pretty dumb. So, if you're in Arena 7 with the Dark Prince and you're all the way down in Arena 5, you're obviously a bad player, but Barbarians can be good. You mostly want to use them on defense. If you're trying to use them on offense, you can get valued out with Splash, not a good idea. And obviously the Wizard can be good both offensively to deal with minions. It's also really good to pad with a Pekka thrown in the back. When the opponent has time to react to it, you can use the Wizard and kind of counter-react that as well. So really solid troop. Also works really well against Barbarians. And it's also the best way to deal with balloons, assuming somebody uses them. And that's another reason we have archers in the deck, because 8 elixir from the Wizard and archers works better than the baby dragon and archer. And of course the Mini Pekka along with the giant Pekka will pretty much destroy anything in its path, and we're really close to level 5 on that. So Mini Pekka does move around the map a lot quicker than the big Pekkas. You can pad it with the Barbarians and the Wall Breaker for 11 elixir. You can use the baby dragon for 12. I think the Wall Breaker is a little more solid. Now the Mini Pekka is pretty much only used when the giant Pekka is out. That's when you use them on offense. That way you can just wreck something really quickly. Baby Dragon, one of my opinions, the best splash troop in the game. Obviously, you can use it to deal with pretty much a lot of things for free. You can hit it on Barbarians. It takes out Valkyries without a punish. You can use it against the Prince. Obviously, it's not a good counter for the Prince, but you can kill it for free. And of course, the Big Daddy, the Giant Pekka, which you're going to see in these next 5 replays. So we're going to tone the game volume down for these matchups, and I know it gets really loud. So we're going to show 5 replays with HollywoodShono, all of which are 3 stars. So we're going to start off against ATEF. So from the looks of it, it seems to be a fairly smaller deck to try to overwhelm your opponent. Now lately we have been playing a little bit more defensively. That way we're not kind of just, rushing the attack. Like the Wall Breaker is not going to be able to do much. Musketeer comes out. The really good counter here is the Mini Pekka, because it can trade against both of them. So we place it in the back. There's the horde of minions. So we arrow everything out. There's 7 elixir gone for 3. Wall Breaker goes down. The Musketeer is going to get a couple hits on the tower, but the value game seriously played, as he dropped all that stuff and only got less than 400 damage on the tower, and Wall Breaker is going to get a couple hits in here. 1 hit. Now we're basically waiting on our next push. Out comes the Prince, and we play our giant Pekka in the back, which gives us time to react to whatever he plays next. So he puts out some Goblins and the Musketeer. So the Prince is going to get a hit on the tower, but the Pekka is just going to dominate it. And here is where we start the value game. The Musketeer firing on the Pekka, the Wizard out. Now we lay out our second layer of splash, so ground and air splash easily dealt with. There's the minions. which get dominated by the baby dragon and the wizard. So first crown is going to be easy to get. He's only at 3 elixir. Plays the wall breaker desperately to try to deal with the Pekka. Down goes the first crown. Now a Mini Pekka is out. And this is when the Mini Pekka really shines. While the big Pekka is out, it basically lets you trade in there. So there's wall breakers. Deals with the goblins perfectly. And arrows in case you were to throw out a skeleton swarm minion horde. And there is an easy 3 crown by HollywoodShono, outvaluing with Splash. And Splash really gets dominated by my setup there, so easy 3 crowns for HollywoodShono. So next up in our second replay, we have this video here against some Chinese dude. Keep in mind he is level 7, and I'm only level 6 still. Even though I have enough gold to get all my stuff to level 7, I choose not to because level 8 Barbs are 2,000 gold. And that's kind of what I'm working on next. So here he places Barbs. What we do here is we place the wizard in the back. Now he has spear goblins as well, so the wizard's going to get some value here. We throw out the giant Pekka to reduce damage on the terror. There's the rocket. Takes out the wizard, but the giant Pekka tanking those goblins. So basically spends all of his elixir. And now we're watching out for the minion horde push, which you know is coming. We throw out some archers, so there's the minion horde. Unfortunately, we didn't have arrows at this point, but we do take out most of them. One archer survives, and the Pekka is going to get to work on his base. So the minions come out and does get the crown as the archer hits it at the last minute. Here there's no need to place anything else. We're just placing the baby dragon out, which trades very favorably against 3 minions. Against 6, not so much, unless you place it away. So here he places the bomb tower. So trying to play defensively. He does have a goblin barrel, but keep in mind we have wizards. And we have a big elixir lead, as you see, 9 elixir versus that. So we're kind of waiting on the opponent. We're letting the goblin barrel. So there's the goblin barrel. We're going to place the wizards. And that'll deal with that along with the wall breaker. Now we're kind of just waiting on 7 elixir to get the P.E.K.K.A on the offensive side. So the wall breaker hits there, and there's the double splash. Pretty much dominates those barbs. Wizard does stay up. That's a very important factor there. So now if we can get that Mini Pekka out, and the wizards mostly trade in the minions. So we're going to just throw out the Mini Pekka here, as he has nothing to really play. He's got an arrow or minion defensively. And we use our arrows. So his tower's at 1105. Our tower's in pretty good shape here. So there's the bomb tower. We can baby dragon it down for free, basically. And that's exactly what we're doing. And we're out of range of the royal tower. Barbarians out. But, lo and behold, we have wall breakers. And we have a wizard. So he throws out a goblin barrel. Splash dominates it. The goblins get taken out by, well, the baby dragon. So now we have another push. Giant Pekka about to come out. And instead of trying to go for the crown, instead of taking out the wizard, he leaves up the splash. That is very dangerous. As the Pekka now getting some value. We throw out some bars because the bomb tower has been used. Minions get dominated by the wizard, and we arrow them down even though we don't need to. And that's another dominant 3 crown by HollywoodShono. 3-0 on this poor guy's base. So next up in our next replay we have Auditor, and this was a very dangerous fight because we were actually going up against another higher level player. So this guy was playing pretty cheesy as he had the Goblin Barrel and Hog Riders. And you can cheese out some damage that way, even though it's terrible value, assuming you're in defensive mode. So here he places the Goblin Barrel, Wall Breakers, deal with that, take it a couple hits. So now we're going to throw out the big Pekka and try to make an offensive push. So here we throw out the arrows because of the minion horde. So we're going to get some hits on this tower. Throws out some spear goblins to try to deal with the Pekka quickly. So the tower is at 490 already. So we place a wizard to deal with the baby dragon. And because of that, we can't really react to the Hog Riders. He is trying to kind of just go both ways. So the archers come out to deal with the Hog Rider fairly quickly. Bomb tower will deal with that wizard. Fire. Really good defensive tool there. Keep in mind, of course, the giant Pekka. Once you have part of the map unlocked for getting a crown, it's very dumb to use that. So Wall Breaker again trades into the Goblin Barrel so it doesn't do much damage. Now we can place the baby dragon to try to deal with the thing for free. But here we put out the giant P.E.K.K.A again, as we're trying to make a push for the first tower. So the Spear Goblins, the Wall Breaker gets dominated by the Bomb Tower. And this P.E.K.K.A gets dominated pretty easily. We try to push out. Unfortunately, we don't get a hit on the tower. And down goes the big P.E.K.K.A. So there's the Hog Rider, Baby Dragon to counter mine. And this is where the opponent does get a really good push here. The Baby Dragon does go down. Archers again out to minimize damage on the tower. And the horde of minions are going to get a lot of value here as our archers are down. We place a wall breaker to kind of split them up, and it doesn't really work very well. So there's the Goblin Barrel. I just have to go for that tower. Puts out the Bomb Tower. So the Mini Pekka gets traded pretty easily. And there's the Hog Riders. So we're going to put our giant Pekka out. We kind of ignored the Spear Goblins. So we're down 2-0 at this point. So there's the minion horde. We're going to play our arrows and get rid of it. We need to keep our Pekka fresh. We play a wizard in the back to deal with the baby dragon. The archers will also deal with the baby dragon. So there's a second bomb tower. Pekka is going to dominate it. So now we have our splash, and we have a mini Pekka out as well. Both bomb towers are gone. So we do get the first crown. And we throw out a wall breaker on the left side. Very interesting here. And we throw out a couple archers. So the wall breaker did not get the tower, but the archers with 1 second left get the second crown. So because we have both sides exposed, it makes it really dangerous. Here we just use Barbs and the Mini Pekka to deal with the Hog Rider for free. So Baby Dragon is out. My Baby Dragon is out. The wall breaker thingy does take out the Barbs. There's another Goblin Hut. We have a Wizard playing defense. Down goes 2 of the Goblins pretty much right away. So now if we can get out our Pekka, we're just going to dominate this guy. And we place it offensively so the Baby Dragon hits on the Pekka, not on the Baby Dragon. So we place our Mini Pekka to deal with the Valkyrie, or the Musketeer. The giant Pekka is going to dominate the Bomb Tower. The Mini Pekka goes down. Now we throw out some Barbs. Now we know the splash is gone. Big giant pack of minions. And we arrow it kind of late. The Pekka does get some hits. The Barbarians are going to be able to clean up. The Mini Dragon, Baby Dragon goes down, and there is the 3 crown. Very difficult and very clutch by HollywoodShono against Auditor. So in our final replay, we have HollywoodShono versus HH Crazy against from Godzilla. And this is Arena 6. So right away he places a Goblin Hut. And some Spear Goblins as well. So we're going to put our Wall Breaker out to devalue the right side. And we put out a giant Pekka to pad against Spear Goblins. So as you see, he's readying the Minion Horde. And what do you know? We have arrows waiting for it because, well, what do you know? Well, here we play the Baby Dragon instead to save our arrows because he is playing a spawner deck. So the minions, and that was probably not the right play there. We probably should have just arrowed them down. So instead we have to arrow that. We're going to take a little damage on our tower here. So archers will come up and clean up the Baby Dragon and start making a push. Here comes the Prince. I don't really have a good counter for it at the moment. Here I think we just ignore it and try to push right. And that was probably a stupid play though. There's the second spawner hut. We put Barbarians on the left, and we're going to pad it with a Wall Breaker and try to make a push from the left side. And we also get out the Baby Dragon. Looks like he puts out a Valkyrie. It does some decent damage, but it gets cleaned up pretty quickly, and that's going to allow us to get this tower. Second tower, probably going to be procured by the opponent, but we get our first one. There's the Minion Horde, kind of late. Does get the second tower. So at this point, I'm realizing he's not really playing defense, and we do have one part down. So if we can get past the river with a P.E.K.K.A and a Wizard, we should be able to clean up his base pretty easily. We throw a P.E.K.K.A in the back to buy us time to get Elixir. Now, it's very important to place your P.E.K.K.A in the back because you can react to your opponent's plays easier, like the baby dragon. If you place the P.E.K.K.A in the front, he's going to get some hits on it for free. We throw a wizard in the back, we can throw archers on it since it's locked on the baby dragon, but we choose a wall breaker in this situation. There's the prince, and he does take out the wall breaker. Now we throw out some barbs. Wizard's still working over the baby dragon. So we're kind of ignoring that, and the wizard is going to trade with the Valkyrie. We have a baby dragon P.E.K.K.A. Throw out a Mini Pekka. There is the horde of minions. We have to arrow them down quickly. Giant Pekka is still up, and HollywoodShono is at 45 health. So we can try to use a wall breaker to cash in, and it looks like we're going to do so. We use the Barbarians to install on defense, and there's the slam dunk, 3 crowns for HollywoodShono. Thumbs up, respect from HH Crazy, and there we go. Alright, so now we're going to go and unlock this chest in Arena 5. Get archers, and we get one more Mini Pekka, one more we can upgrade to level 5. That would be awesome. We're going to do a live battle now. Alright, so now we're up against B188Y, who's a level 6. Places archers in the back. Really don't have a good place for that. So I think we're just going to wait a moment. And there's the musketeer. We're going to place the wall breaker along with barbarians to distract. Going to get a couple hits on the tower. That zap isn't going to do much. We're going to throw out our Mini Pekka. There's the minion horde. So we barely missed the first crown there. We're going to place our baby dragon defensively to deal with his. We're just going to wait. Baby dragon puts it in arrow range. That's very critical. So here we're going to place our bomber in the back. Has another musketeer. And again, we can throw out barbs to deal with it. So throws a prince in the back. Uses a free spell. And we're just going to take this first tower. So it'll give us better positioning. There's the minions. Perfect as it slam dunks on 3 of them. Now we use that to trade with it. We're going to try to get a wizard out here. Wallbreaker can deal with the archers pretty well too. So that was perfect there. Now we're going to place our Mini Pekka to deal with it. And there's the prince. So we're going to get a couple hits on this tower. Pekka should trade favorably with the prince. Just about. So now we're going to place our baby dragon to finish him off. And there's the minion horde. We're just going to arrow it down. Sorry, buddy. Now, since he wasted a lot of elixir freezing, we can try to make a splash push. We're going to wait for the wizard. That'll do really well. There's a musketeer. So a lot of offense on that. We're going to get the Mini Pekka out as well. The giant Pekka is about to go down. We're going to get a second baby dragon out. Looks like he's not going to get 3 crowns, but it looks like we're going to get the easy 1-star victory. The opponent wasn't able to do much. So as you see, just kind of outclassed there as made some value trades, and there's the easy 1-star. And we're going to give him a well played there. So if you like this video of HollywoodShono dominating in Arena 5, please give this video a like rating, comment, subscribe. Share this video amongst your friends. It is a favorite. Check out my other Clash Royale videos playlist, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch, which are all HollywoodShono. And looking forward to starting to 3 crown some more in Arena 6 very soon. Have a wonderful day, kids.
www.youtube.com/HollywoodShono. Subscribe, bitches!